Greetings once again. We are Russ Hatfield and Kara. I am the archivist for the Hades-based news, and Kara is my twin soul and higher dimensional member of Ashtar Command stationed on Hades base. The channeling session for January is called Crystal Lifeforms, Dolphin Dreams, and Seats of Power. We have a pre-channeling session summary to present. The theme of the channeling session for January seems to be appropriately a series of firsts. It is the first time Skip and Laura get to meet Alana, and Skip learns this is his first time on the planet Earth in an incarnation. Tia is our ring mistress for the evening and begins things by blowing our minds right away. It's a simple enough question. What powers a crystal? But the answer contains far more knowledge and truth than we were expecting. We learn that a crystal is a life form. Like any life form, it absorbs one form of energy, or food in this case, and expels a different sort that is very beneficial. We learn that they are aware and that different crystals eat different kinds of energy, such as cosmic crystals eat cosmic energy and give off another type of energy. We also get a lesson in how to clean a crystal and clear it of all the data it's collected. We end with helping to pursue a theory on shrinking down in astral form to enter the body in order to heal it. We move on from Tia to Kara's daughter Alana. What we learn from her is that some people may incarnate into dolphin form for a couple of reasons. They may have a lesson that could only be learned as a dolphin, or, as she says, they may be evolved with a higher IQ but do not treat animals with respect. They may come back to a planet where dolphins are hunted to repeat that lesson until it is learned. We find out dolphins are as smart as humans and even surpass us as being able to speak telepathically to one another. Several factors keep them from advancing beyond their current state, such as a lack of hands. As we get to the end of her time speaking, she takes a moment to break into a little dolphin language, which she apologizes for butchering. It actually sounds pretty close to perfect from what little we hear. The last speaker on side one is Kiri, who immediately looks to answer Skip's question about whether they had shared past lives. The answer catches us by surprise as we learn about Kiri's last life as well. She reveals it is Skip's first life on this planet, and before that he was lending his engineering skills aboard a ship out of the Alpha Centauri. Kiri was an engineer on a Syrian freighter at the time. This question was apparently expected, as we learned there had been a conference about revealing this information to Skip by Kiri, Omal, and Corton earlier that week. Another revelation we discover is some of the technology that is used on the base. Tia's daughter Minerva had a psychic skill to be able to change into a cat form at will. They were having trouble locating her, so they had the computer track her down. We find that they have consoles connected to the central computer core that operate holographically. It's definitely the next level. Near the end of the side, we find out a little from the point of view of an expert about accessing past lives to get answers to a current one. We finish out the first half with her explaining why our guest may have an alien observing her in her daily life. We have to wait until side 2 to get a more fuller answer. With the tape being turned over, Kiri finishes up her thoughts on behavioral science by using a cat as an example. We learn cats like to be contented and have a wild ancestry that is still a part of their habits. She can't elaborate much further without jeopardizing information she's not allowed to go into more with us. She is able to help with a problem I had run into as far as my flight training with the pilots on the base. I was assisting her son in a search and rescue craft at the time and learning its controls in case of emergencies. It was just a question of getting help adjusting to the controls of a different technology that wasn't even close to an automobile. More video game than steering wheel. With improvements planned, she made way for Omal to take over speaking duties. He immediately has a joke for us before providing some very deep information on space and time. The question is on people who refuse to accept space and time and instead find themselves in incarnation loop. They do not learn and they do not progress. He gives us a couple examples such as the Marquis de Sade and John Wilkes Booth, who would later reincarnate as Lee Harvey Oswald to kill yet another president. It's at that point we explore soul groups and how various souls travel together. One group he highlights is the one containing Eisenhower, Patton, Napoleon, and Alexander the Great. All, we find out, are currently awaiting rebirth. That leads to a discussion on seats of power. These seats are civilizations that came and went or are still around. From Atlantis to America, the power would move around from civilization to civilization until they destroyed themselves or were destroyed by a superior force. One example he gives is the Incas, who had dealings with extraterrestrials but were then later conquered when the legends misled them to believe the invaders were the returning gods. He explains how families are treated in a way to determine how a civilization is going prior, or how civilization is doing prior to making room for the next speaker. That next speaker is Kara, who has advice on how to help Skip on improving his healing ability, and then about helping Mark and I understand better about the design of a pyramid we were building. That pyramid would surround the futon Mark was laying on. One innovation we were using was copper wiring linking the bottom sections together to form a grid under the pyramid that ran on top of an iron plate. We learned this would amplify the energy to a lower level of the pyramid, so the futon was fully enveloped in the energy field. The purpose was to enhance the energy levels in both the physical and subtle bodies of energy throughout the human body. We wrap up with plans for an upcoming visit by Carrie, where a healing tape was to be created beforehand. Tia comes back on to get us to the end of the tape and helps work out with us on a stela found in the Mayan excavations, where she says they were probably used to denote territory. We expand on that thinking to the Nazca lines in Peru and how they could possibly have guided astral travelers back from their voyages. A very enlightening channeling session. For a full transcript of this latest channeling session, please go to our main homepage at HadesBaseNews.com. We invite you to subscribe to be kept informed of future postings on our YouTube channel from the members of Ashtar Command. We now present our latest entry into the Hades Base archives recorded in 1995, Crystal Life Forms, Dolphin Dreams, and Seats of Power.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Hi. Greetings. Well, I'm fine. Don't know about the body down there. Can't find a pulse. Like, even if I could, I wouldn't be able to feel it.
It's kicking.
It's kicking?
Yes. Even moving.
Oh, okay.
So you knew you were here.
I gotta stop doing that. Big giveaway.
The nose was twitching and the feet were moving. It's like a rabbit.
All the better to smell you with.
Ooh. That might be good.
Ready for some interesting questions this evening?
Yeah.
Good. Got time to be.
Okay.
Well, one anyway.
Does one constitute a ton?
It depends how heavy it is.
What is a ton?
2,000 pounds.
Isn't that a currency?
Yeah, that'd be about $3,500.
Oh, okay.
You understand that, don't you?
Yeah, I understand dollars. You know, the things that keep on getting smaller and smaller as you get bigger and bigger government.
Right.
See, I was listening.
You listening? Yes.
Actually, go ahead there.
Where to start? Good damn.
That was with a shot in the end.
Told you, huh?
Yeah.
You never got that music you piped in up here? Uh-huh. That's relaxing. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, he asked you to do that now for 2 months.
You've forgotten to do something for you?
Of course. What is this?
What did you use? One of those
Murder.
round. What?
I threatened him with murder.
Oh, I thought you might have used one of those round things that they hit the circular balls with.
What about you?
Like Yeaglong?
Oh. No. Just, threats.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I think there's somebody at the door.
The cat's gotten very loud.
It's the cat
You
playing
want-
joints, looking out on us.
You want to shut the door?
No me in the branch.
No, not me. But remember, my planet is way out there. Any more questions?
It's curious. I don't know if you know anything about this, but I don't think it's a crystal called.
I could ask if you want and find out.
Curious.
Curious or curious?
Same thing.
No, curious is sitting over there.
They're curious.
Oh,
Curious.
well, that killed all the questions, didn't it?
Oh, you haven't answered mine yet.
Oh, you want me to find out? You
Yeah.
didn't say if... hold on. Okay, what gives a crystal its energy is its own life form. You talk about life forms being flesh and blood and made out of living tissue, like trees, birds, plants, and so on. That's as you know it. This is a life form that you don't know. This is more aware. It's about as aware as a tree is of its surroundings. So that's why when you take a crystal with you, it learns new things.
Injects that into your energy.
It scoops up energy from around you and from around itself, and it needs the energy to power itself. It's like you eat steaks and those root tuber thingies and what does Mark call it? Rabbit food?
Yes, vegetables.
Vegetables, yeah. That's all right for you. But this eats energy. And what it gives off is a different type of energy, which is a byproduct.
So it's all the energy from the crystal inside.
Mostly. But you're asking the wrong person. I'm just a humble astral traveller.
So who deals with that?
You'd have to talk to Kara. Kara. Yeah, just think of Kara. Rah! Rah, rah, rah!
So what is a cosmic crystal? You saying?
Yeah, apart from it eats cosmic energies. You know, your planet has been constantly bombarded by cosmic radiation and little tiny particles that pass through things. Well, some crystals can devour them. Can change the radiation into a useful substance that it feeds on. Just like some people eat only fish and other people eat only particular types of meat. And then there's people that eat across the spectrum. Crystals are like that. You have some that eat natural energy, earth energy, and energy from living entities. And then there are other crystals that eat energy that are only from cosmic sources. And then there's the ones that eat across the board. They each have individual functions.
If I put a crystal in one's hand, You tell me what function it is?
Yeah.
Which
Do you want me to?
No, about it.
Because I know some people. It's a power crystal. It's got energy. It's a great power source too. You had mint in your hand recently?
Not my purse.
Have you had mint in your purse?
Oh, yeah.
Whose purse?
Mine. I carry it with me.
No, I want to know who is purse.
It's my purse, Laura's purse. It's a bag that I carry.
Oh, it's
Carry
a
all my stuff in it.
Sorry, I thought it was a name.
Oh, no. No.
Oh, okay.
Name of God.
Understand.
Do you know what a rose crystal is?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
It is a crystal that has a slight reddy tinge to it. I could ask again if you want, but Farah might frown at me. I'm asking too many questions. I'm meant to be answering questions instead of asking questions.
What did you answer my question?
Mm-hmm. But, okay, I'll answer. Okay. Function of a rose crystal is it amplifies light energy. Now, it depends on its current state. I believe there's a big crystal over there sitting in a bowl. Now, if a rose crystal is damaged like that one is, that's not a rose crystal.
No.
It becomes a healing crystal, but with different usages. If it's a long pointed one, like I believe there's another one. Oh, that's better. So there's normally a big tool. Yeah, that one. Now, if it's shaped like that one, right, it's an energy crystal. Now, if it appears to have a phantom in it, it is a storage crystal for information. If it is very long and thin, it's a different type of power crystal. It's more like a wand, directing energy. Then you have different types of healing ones. But it's all to do with the energy because of the way that it grew and the colour of it. They're much more specialised and much more interactive with the aura. If you clean it by putting in sodium chloride. No, not sodium chloride. Oh, common name salt.
Salt.
Yeah, rocks. That's the stuff. It pulls out all the negative energy and cleans it of all the information relevant. For example, if you were to put this one, which is a specialized one for astral travel, you would put it into rock salt and then put it out on a full moon, then bring it in when the full moon sets, and then put it out when the sun rises, and then bring it in when the sun sets. You'd wipe all the information out of it. Be useless as an astral travel crystal. Well, not useless, it loses all the information it's picked up. There are other ways of wiping the crystal of information. Another way is metaconcert, which is a group of minds working together like an orchestra and having one person directing all the energy. Depends what you want it to do. If you have, let's say, a manifester that is acting as the conductor, the executive in charge of the orchestra, and directing the energy, let's say you needed to light a fire, right? And you have 20 people but no matches and no way of starting the fire. You have the fuel, but no fire. If you all work together supplying energy and thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time, at the exact same speed, and focusing all the energy on one person, then that one person directs the energy to what you said they want.
The amethyst is what?
Amethyst is a coloured crystal of a amethyst. Do you have an amethyst? There, there's some. Yeah. What's the function of amethyst?
Healing,
Okay.
healing and cleansing.
Yeah, because
They've been used as a protector before.
well, you can use any crystal as a protector.
That's where you got that one there in that corner there for. The cluster. The cleansing.
Okay. Any more questions?
He's 2 years still?
Sure.
Oh, it's true. Back in 1975, people were using astral projection to release emotional and physical blocks in their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And how they would do so is they would imagine themselves becoming small and tiny,
Mm-hmm.
entering into their own body to the source of the block.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, they were to be able to imagine
Sit
ways
down.
to get into the wall that was being formed by the block.
Mm-hmm.
And then oftentimes that would help with breaking a person away from their physical body and
Mhm.
astral projecting.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, can we apply that same process today? Does that work? Have you tried it? And you
No,
have
I haven't
information
tried.
on it?
No, I haven't tried it. I'm lacking information on it, and yes, I would give it a try.
So much fun to you.
Why would you want to get so into teeny?
Well, because you won't quit otherwise. We're going to block chakra. I can fit into a chakra in the size you're at. Chakra's nice and small.
I know where my chakras are.
Can you block?
No,
You sure?
don't think so.
Oh, no. But if one was blocked, how would you unblock it?
I'd relax.
Well,
Focus energy on it.
what are you doing? Sometimes we're not able to do such things in a good three-level things. They both dimension. It's a lot easier. Let's be dense down. That's very physical.
I'd say.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I'm being facetious.
That's right, that's very interesting. So, getting small enables you to not only focus energy,
Uh-huh.
but be able to locate that.
I'm going to throw a barbecue out here. Bring your own dogs, please. Oh well. Any more questions before I hand over to the next one? Oh well. I'll be back. I'm in charge of ceremony. Nobody's going to say see you later.
I'm gonna see you in a while.
See you later.
Thank you. Different people.
Hey, how's it going, darling? Glad you got my summons.
Thank you.
Okay, glad you answered my request.
Mm.
Very nice of you. How are you doing, my dear? I'd like to introduce a couple people to you.
Who is this?
This is Alana. And this is Kara's daughter.
Oh.
My bondmate. And mother of my child. Alana, this is Laura. And that is Skip over here on the other side.
Greetings and felicitations.
Do
Good evening and greeting and felicitations. I am honoured to be here. Did I do well?
You did very well.
Oh, thank you.
Much better than the first time. Yeah, very good at this stuff. We don't get to see enough for one.
Well, I'm busy.
You are busy, I know. I understand that. But I had fun today with you.
Had to rush on the Dolphin area.
Well, I wasn't even expecting to see you there today, so it was great to see you. I am able to share some time and energy with you.
We are working with a young Dolphin.
Oh, is that the new one on Nisi?
Yeah. Nissa.
Nisa.
Nissa.
Nisa.
No, this is not.
Nisa. I'll work on it.
There's typically putting it out there. That's all.
Well, I'm not quite as fluent in Dolphin as some people are.
I can't help it. I'm part Dolphin, you know. Actually, my feet are starting to get a little wet.
Oh, how come Miranda's little feet being even more so?
Can't keep her out of the water.
How does she like that little new Dolphin?
They play.
You?
Okay, now you've got questions.
Yes, I did. First off, I'd like to ask a little bit about when I talked to Amal last Tuesday, we discussed the fact that oftentimes people will perfect and outgrow the physical form and will, at that point, or a certain particular physical form, at that point will move on and go to a higher form or dimension.
Or to a different location for educational purposes.
Right. Now, my question is are dolphins the form that is prior to the human form?
Yes, no.
Okay, good. We got a long answer this time.
Yes, for those that are in an intermediate period in between relocating, and they will have a lesson to learn that they need a one-off of. Somebody that may be evolved and of high intelligence, but yet enjoys persecuting animals for their own fun, not for food or for clothing, but just for pure fun. They will become a dolphin on a planet where they are persecuted and hunted. And if they don't learn the lesson, then they have to repeat it.
Think of a few duck hunters that could fit into there.
Yeah, the no part is that people on your planet do not give dolphins enough credit for their intelligence.
True.
Dolphins are just as smart as humans, and they go through the same process as you do, but in dolphin form.
Well, it's said that humans are the otters of the universe. In other words, the otters are real playful little mammalian marsupials.
And like marsupials, they don't have a pouch. An otter is an aquatic mammal that lives on both land and water. But yes, it is playful. It is more akin to the feline.
Okay. So, if that, being as we now understand otters, and if humans were to be called the otters of the universe, what would the dolphins be?
Dolphins.
Well, they love to have fun and play, and yet they're very intelligent. And so, What evolutionary path are they on? They're on a different one from you. They're on a parallel one. Okay. It seems to be almost a higher path, except for a few exceptions. Well, they can never evolve into a spacefaring species without the help of somebody that has the ability to transport them. Because A, they lack fingers and hands. B, they lack the knowledge on how to make fire. And C, because of the lack of hands, they lack the knowledge on how to construct things. But they have a higher intelligence because A, they transmit telepathically with each other. B, they can astral travel as a matter of course. C, they understand how to live in harmony. Now, Kara, when you next speak to her, will be able to hopefully tell you about a book I read that she picked up in my mind numerous times when I read it, called Star Tide Rising. And it's a book about in the future where humans and dolphins work together as a spacefaring race. And of course, at the time, there's many more races in the stars that we are either against or with. But in this book, the dolphins use these little mechanical wall domes that attach to around their head, and they're like arms that reach out and manipulate things. And they're genetically enhanced dolphins, and they've been upgraded, it's said. But but they work as a spacefaring race with humans. It's quite a good book. I can get a copy. Yeah, sure. Know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. And the other part is on dolphin dreaming. Okay. Two parts on this: the one that they dream and the one that we can dream. Okay. On the one that they dream, is that a point where they are able to bypass space and time? No. They lack the ability to manipulate space and time, as you have lacking in the ability to manipulate space and time. Okay. It takes a lot of energy to do so. But with their astral traveling, you said they couldn't travel very far. No. Okay. In your research, is that one thing you're working on, helping them to improve that? They have only the ability to travel, I should say, about 100 of your miles. Okay. And no matter how hard we try, we cannot increase their ability because of the medium that they live in, and the fact that it doesn't serve any serious function for them. How they communicate over great distances is by telepathy. Well, how is your work going into interspecies communication? Right? Still working. I've been busy with other projects. Okay. Well, on to the second part of my question, and that is concerning dolphin dreams in human form. And being able to use a meditation technique to transform myself into a dolphin temporarily. Or to dream that you are a dolphin. Right. And is it possible to do this with any success rate? No, not really. Or not that I've heard. Okay. Any advantages if you're able to? I haven't really thought about those ones. That's strange. You have dolphin practically now anyway. We have life. I'm glad you can't understand what I just said. Me trying to speak dolphin, which I do terrible anyway. Well, good. Now you have something to think about.
Okay.
Dolphin questions, guys. Are any questions?
Oh, well. I've got to get back to my studies and research.
Thank you, Alana. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Okay. Right, I'm going to put on the, I know who I'm going to put on next.
Okay. Okay.
Will do.
So you want
Hey!
Hey, how are you?
Hey! Okay, I believe you've got a question for me, Skip.
Have you known me before?
Yes.
And what?
Both of us were on third dimension. This is not the first time I've been an engineer. I've been, my previous life, I was an engineer on a Syrian freighter. And you were an engineer on which ship was it? I think it was a Centaurian ship. Alpha Centauri. No? Yes, it was. But you weren't a Centaurian, if my memory serves me right. But as an engineer, lending your engineering skills to the Centaurians. Yes, I can answer that because we did discuss it in detail with Amol and Borton about a week ago in conference. So, to answer your question is, yes, you are a new spirit to this planet. That is why you haven't picked up any spirits from this planet yet. It's a matter of patience and time, and to keep practicing your engineering skills. You'll find that engineering you're seeing, like it could do a lot of refinements. Take video cameras, for example. As relayed to me by Tia.
Well, the reason I ask is because my ancestors had mechanical ability.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was kind of curious.
Yeah. And then there was that statement that was made about you being a new spirit. Yes, you are to this planet. You learnt all that you could learn, working on starships and so on, and now you need to, instead of having a narrow focus on engineering only, you need to expand your all-round experiences. Okay. Glad I could be of service.
you haven't had a full discussion or conference with them all about your life school day? Me and Mark, have you?
Why would you want to know?
All about Maxis and Maxis. And
Sorry, can't discuss that. That is, as you might say, verboten.
Just wondering.
You know what happens when you discuss Maxis and Naxis? Things materialize and explode. Your brain gets almost fried. What would you like it with? Mushrooms and shrimps this time? And maybe that long, thin, short, green tuba thingy?
We can't discuss it.
Later. Later. After hours, please. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Feline. Feline. Which one's that? That's,
Jerry.
Joey.
She came out here.
So what did I hear about Alex today?
No, his Great Escape thing.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to know about? That was yesterday.
It's just
Oh, they took the children from the crash for a what you would call a field trip into a recreational wooded land that we have up here.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of the children broke and did a runner. One was Tia's daughter Minerva that turns into felines from time to time. They were just little toddlers. And then there was Alex that did a runner. And they all went off in different directions and played around in the rocks and got everybody really concerned that they'd run off and hidden. So they used a computer to locate them. They just asked the computer to locate a life form of particular height, dimensions of 2 arms, legs, whatever, and for energy readings.
Sounds awful familiar. We did the same kind of detector.
Mm-hmm.
We had,
On your entertainment.
yes, right. Into the science fiction series of that moment.
Well, there's a lot of parallel
Mechanisms.
Yeah. Well, we don't have transporters. I do like watching that entertainment.
They have the tricorder is the thing I was trying to think of. It is a mechanism to locate my phone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a computer that is located in the central computer core, but it has the ability to scan things.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. You have to have a little console that you plug into a particular point, and then it interacts with the main computer.
no,
And you can ask.
If you've got power to draw on, you have to have that battery pack in your hand.
That's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Draw on body heat.
Yeah, body heat, body energy,
So,
sunlight.
okay.
And it's kind of like a non-harmful radar. That what it does is that it will scan something, then it maps it into the main computer in slices, and then it reassembles it in the holographic drive. Not a holographic image, but it's a holographic thought process for the computer. And it reassembles it and gets it to match with known set specifications.
Well, why can't you just say find Minerva?
Well, that's what we did.
Oh.
And the computer goes through its mind or through its records and comes up with all the names. And we'll cross-reference it, and you may have 3 or 4 Minervas. Well, actually, there's 3 on the base.
How come it's so much trouble picking her out from the other cats? It's easy to figure out a child who's pretending to be a cat and looks very much like a cat.
Well,
It's real cats.
Well, you see, when it scans, is that it can't distinguish between one person and another, unless that person speaks. Then it reads the voice.
Isn't that where you come in?
I may be smart, but I ain't that smart. What do you think I am? Huh?
I see
Super
the idea.
genius?
You come up with the way to fix it.
Do you know how long that would take me to work on?
Yeah, that's better than you.
That gives you a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, about 500 years.
Just a bit.
Oh, okay, so I give up half my life to redesigning a computer. That doesn't... No, I was going to be very self-indulgent.
Oh, hell. I got one other question for you.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
will I ever be able to draw on my past lives to enhance the one I never know?
Not this one,
Okay.
because you have to learn your surroundings before you can interact and draw on the memories from the past.
Okay.
But it won't be in your next life, you go, oh, I know what to do now, how to fix that. It will be, you'll do something that will make you look at it a different way, and you will think in a different way that will seem alien in your next life, which will actually be your mind cross-referencing with its record that it carries of your previous lives and saying, okay, now if we do it this way, like we did it in life A22, we can improve it this way, which will mean that it will be better than the original.
Is this what happens when I know I've never done this before as far as
And it seems so easy.
at this time, but yet I knew how to do it?
It's your spirit accessing memories that it doesn't tell you about.
So I couldn't do a past life regression on skip very easy then.
No, because there is an actual block that first of all you need to learn about.
So in other words, Russell could do a past life regression on me and get quite a bit.
Yes, but because this is Skip's first life on this planet, that he has to get himself accustomed. It's like,
First, put on a new pair of shoes.
yeah,
Okay, you got to break them in.
that's right. And if you try to access it, you'll get total disjointed present, what's occurring now, what occurred in the past in this life, and possibilities interrupted with desires.
Okay.
So you'll get a mishmash of things that you've seen on television or things that you've seen at the big
Big screen.
Yeah, big screen. Yeah.
We call them the-
or at other forms of entertainment.
I have an alien who observes me. Who is it?
Not too sure at the moment. You'd have to ask one of the heavies.
I was just curious as to why.
The same way that we have. Sorry, I can't say that. Put my foot right in it if I went on.
I was curious as to why I would have it too.
It's possible that it's curious in you. And by learning from one person, you can understand a little bit about a particular species. For example, where is it? Ah, come here. Come here. Come here. Here. If you scratch her behind the ears, she starts to purr. Now, why is it that all cats purr? So you learn that if you scratch a cat behind the ears, it purrs because it's happy. The way it behaves, you can learn about one cat. You also learn something about every other cat. For example, why does a cat walk around in circles before it lies down?
That's over from being wild to nesting. We push down the tall grass.
Exactly. So now you know two things about a cat. One is that they like to be made contented. And two, that they go around in circles to press the grass down because they were once a wild animal. Some of them still are wild, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, I would think it would be more interesting, something that requires a person that was more intellectual. You know, more advanced.
Again, I can't give you an answer because I put myself into trouble.
They tried, but it
They
didn't
tried,
work.
but they can't get it. So
Hey, Piglet. Pegasus.
not Pegasus.
Joey.
Joey.
Here.
Pegasus.
Pegasus is
Looks like Joey.
a little. Pegasus is a cat that lives in the apartment. It was given to Minerva as a pet. But I don't know who's the pet actually anymore. Okay, more questions?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
On the engineering standpoint, I'm going to be going and doing the flight training tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But is there a way that the I have a little trouble with the controls?
We're working on it.
How you do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've assigned it to be worked by somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Maybe because if I did, I'd get into trouble for working too hard. I've got a big sister that interferes.
Interferes, I believe the term is
Interfering old busybody.
Okay. Anyway, how come I'm having trouble zone? It's just my
You lack the manual dexterity.
I look forward to
My improvements? I'm
coming out of your office.
well, okay. Okay.
Thank
more
you very
questions?
much.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, I've got those. I've got plans. See you later, Ross.
All
See you later, Skip. See you later, Laura.
Good night.
right.
See you later, Feline. It's greetings and felicitations. Greetings, Russ. Greetings, Skip. Greetings, Laura.
How do you say?
I am functioning within specified diameters.
You sound pretty good.
Thank you. Yes, apparently I have been forbidden from going to the surface of our base here due to the fact that it is already dry. They do not wish it to be drier.
Okay.
Okay, let us proceed to answer these questions.
I'll give the chair up here if it does.
I got mine answered.
I think Kiri did well on elaborating.
Yes.
We discussed it in great detail in a conference that we had.
Okay, well, it's my move.
Okay.
All right. In choosing to believe in time and space, you choose the lessons that come with it. But can you also not choose to believe it and still exist in a third dimension?
Yes.
Oh, so?
Because your species as a whole is the we.
Okay.
Somebody may opt out of the we, but they are still part of it.
What are they then?
They are an outsider that loses the knowledge of the lessons that they will learn. They do not wish to be involved with the world. They do not wish to be involved with understanding the relationship with space and time.
Are they still corporal?
Yes, they're still within it. They're still a living, breathing entity, but their intelligence is affected. But they do not become more intelligent. They are destined to repeat the learning experience that they need to learn. If they're not careful and carry on in their second life learning that lesson, then they get trapped in a loop. And they do not learn and they do not progress.
So that means they're like chasing the tail.
Yes.
That's kept you stagnated, which is
Exactly.
well, the human condition almost keeps you from stagnating, always wanting to do better. It seems like that'd almost be
It is a
a
dead end.
contradiction.
It is a dead end. You do not go anywhere. You rotate around, chasing your tail, stagnating, going nowhere.
Do we have any examples that we would have known of or heard about in the papers? In recent media? Mention?
You should have discussed that with Kiri.
You can bring it back if you wish.
Excuse me for taking
Just kidding.
I'm sorry.
To dig at myself, actually.
Let me see. Anybody that you would know? There is no one alive at present that you would know in your famous media or person. Yes, there is one person.
Oh, good.
Sorry, we cannot discuss it this time.
Oh, how about historical?
Historical. Let me see.
I just like an example of what not to look for.
Okay. The Marquis de Sade,
Oh, okay. I see.
the Duke of Gloucester,
Market about that.
What are you doing, man?
no, Abraham Lincoln was a very talented person, but the gentleman that terminated him,
No way.
Johnny Walsh.
Oh, that's right.
yes, he in past lives has assassinated people before, and he still hasn't. Or he is awaiting rebirth. Present. I believe his name in it. The last life was.
Oswald?
Yes, thank you. Lee Harvey Oswald. It's very good. But remember, spirits travel in groups. When they are reborn at a time that would affect other members of their group, either to lead or to follow.
That brings me to my next question. And that is, was looking through a National Geographic and was reading about Alexander the Great. Now we know that he was born again as Patton, but Patton is in Alexander's main army, I believe, if I'm correct. So he was close to Alexander. Now, Alexander the Great's father was Philip II of Macedonia. And so to find that grouping, would you look again to that grouping around Patton possibly?
Yes. And there is a clue here.
Okay.
Patton once said, or was explaining about a battle in Europe that he was involved in a previous life. No, he was discussing a battle. And one of the generals said you would have made a great marshal for Napoleon. And Patton laughed and says, but I was. Filling the blanks.
Problem. Wait a minute. Patton was a
Yes, exactly.
marshal for Napoleon, who was a marshal for Alexander the Great. That would make Alexander the Great to Napoleon to who was in charge of Patton. Who's Patton's commanding officer? We don't know. Eisenhower?
A little bit bigger than Eisenhower. He got fired by Trump.
Oh, the
MacArthur.
MacArthur, right?
No, MacArthur was not the general in charge. He was Eastern Pacific.
So Patton's commanding officer in Europe
Was
Eisenhower.
No, Eisenhower was not the commander at that time.
He wasn't.
No, he didn't become commander until the Korean situation after MacArthur got fired. That's why I keep thinking.
Eisenhower was president of your United States. He was elected in 1950, I believe.
Well, but previous to that, he was commander in chief of all the armies after MacArthur got fired, which would make it back in 1950.
At 50, he was already in office. There was a general just before. Who was it that was in charge? It wasn't.
Mark Clark is.
Yeah, it was Mark Clark. Was directly below Eisenhower in Europe.
Yeah, he was in Europe.
He was commander-in-chief of U.S. forces in Korea, but was relieved by MacArthur.
Okay, and then after MacArthur was Ridgway.
Mhm.
Wait, who's the British general?
Well, that was
Montgomery.
Montgomery was
a British officer.
the same
Same classification as
Patrick
Pat. He was a marshal or
Field Marshal.
field marshal. Yeah. So
He was under Churchill.
Yeah.
No,
Who? Montgomery.
Montgomery was under Eisenhower. Eisenhower was elected to be in
Oh.
charge
Oh,
by
yeah.
Churchill
All
and
the Allied
Roosevelt.
commanders elected him as being in charge.
Yes,
So theoretically, we are looking at Patton's commanding officer, the Eisenhower.
correct. And who are all these people? We have Eisenhower, Napoleon,
Alexander.
and Alexander the Great.
So they're running in packs, in other words, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how
Now,
long will this? I mean, is this a continuation of a learning experience?
yes, at present, none of the individuals are around. They're all waiting for rebirth.
They're being prepared, right?
No, there's nobody out there right now that's got the ability of what these officers had.
There is one.
One.
There is one.
He's a Clinton.
No, he's president. He's not a
Oh,
military commander. He's
Yeah,
not,
but most some of our presidents
he's
were
not a
military
military
commanders.
commander.
What was that name?
Powell.
Yes.
From Montgomery.
No, that was Schwarzkopf. That was
Oh, well, Paul Powell was Schwarzkopf Spots.
correct.
What's with North?
Ah.
Did I hit a button? Did I push a button on that?
Yes,
one?
you did push a button. We cannot discuss it because his time,
Is he still alive?
Yeah, North is still.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said.
his time is coming soon.
He carried out orders, and I still believe that to this day. He done nothing to carry out orders.
We would have to discuss that with a member of the Syrian Defense Force who is currently on the base. She would explain in great detail loyalty, carrying out orders, duty and obedience, I believe, is what she calls.
He had too many people to answer to,
Correct.
and I understand military because I was in it.
Yes, we know.
All right. Well, going back to Alexander, and even before that, I'm looking at historical references to energies, positive and negative, that were influencing the region at the time of Alexander. The two major periods prior to Alexander were the Egyptian, and at Alexander's time was the Babylonian. And apparently all three were connected. But I'm not exactly sure why. I wonder if you could clarify that.
Look at where they are situated.
They're in the Mediterranean. It's like Egypt and Babylonia formed the two towers. And Alexander and the Greeks formed so like if you were to go to a Lord of the Rings kind of thing. They were like Minas Tirith, and then you'd have like another older, darker kind of thing over there on the other side.
The seats of power are never set in one place. They move from place to place. Where a civilization that has potential power and energy will flow to. So an area that has potential will have power and energy. If it does not know how to use it, it will eventually decay, and the energy will drift around and focus on a new place that has potential. So if you look throughout history, you have
Atlantis,
right?
Egypt, Babylon, Greece, Rome, England,
No. China,
China, then England,
no.
China, Russia,
No. Sailing over the ocean.
Spain.
No, let's be specific about this.
Okay. Oh, specific. Japan.
No. Try a little bit further.
Ireland.
Wrong ocean.
You didn't say how far.
It's not India.
All right, you are in a vessel on your ocean.
Right.
You set sail. You follow the coast of China. You go up. You hit ice. You follow the ice line. You come down the next coast, and it's all arid and rugged terrain. Then the civilizations that aren't really that cohesive or intelligent, you go down, you come down past the Hood River estuary, you go further down, you go past Drake's Point, you go down, you go past the bridge by the bay,
America.
you go further down, you come down to
Mexico? Oh, the Incas.
the Incas, the Aztecs,
Mayans.
the Mayans.
What happened to these people?
They mostly did what they're doing now. They were overpopulating and wiped themselves out by deforestation, causing droughts around their cities, and you can see them die out. And this is what you mean
There's
about
much
having the power.
agriculture.
But
But they did so much agriculture, I don't understand.
well, the thing is that because the land in that area is only the soil is only that thick that you can grow crops on. The rainforest spreads out. The roots spread out along. They don't go down. They spread out over a thin layer of soil because it's all basalt below that. And it won't grow into that. And so when they cut down the rainforest to grow their crops, the crops only got 3 years worth of corn, and you couldn't grow anything there anymore. That was it.
Basically, what happened
And the
is
cities-
spread themselves out.
Right. And the cities died. In fact, and the whole area. And
They had to scatter themselves everywhere.
There are exceptions to the rules. The Incas, they learned the theory of controlling water and irrigation, and terracing.
and they're still going strong.
Right.
Not as strong.
Well, the fields, if they were to utilize them, they could feed themselves. The area where the Incas were, they could, Peru, I believe, they could make Peru totally independent of importing food.
Right, they are, I don't understand. They had so much intelligence. What happened?
They were attacked by a superior force. They had alien influences brought upon them that they had no understanding of. They had prophecies that they had predicted, which seemed to fit the invaders.
Had disease.
Well, that comes into factors.
They spoke their own language,
Fear is the biggest destroyer.
so they wiped them out.
They had so much knowledge and now they have nothing.
Now they have nothing.
It is because they became oppressed. They were broken down. They had their morale destroyed.
No, their school system would break down. Educational levels would go.
Exactly.
So the future generations just didn't learn that the older generations had.
Because it's written down.
And because, it was written down, it was protected by the priestly classes, and it's still there.
But they didn't release that.
It is hidden and protected for the protection of the people.
The codexes.
To release that kind of knowledge would be harmful to the people.
Yeah, they found a brand new temples and stuff, and they've got a whole bunch of new writings they can't decipher yet.
At this time.
At this time.
More questions, please.
Okay. Yes, after the Incas, we go to America.
Isn't the Incas and the Aztecs and the Mayans part of America? The Toltecs?
The same time.
Well, the Aztecs, I believe, were in Mexico. And you go up.
It would be Europe,
Yes.
then Europe, then America.
Yes. Well, actually, it goes into the Soviet Union, where the Soviet Union was. And then finally,
Finally to Europe. Now, is it still here then? Or is it moved out?
it is at that point.
Where we could use it or lose it? Kind of
Yes.
thing?
Not only does the power go, the strength to dominate, it is also a noble obligation, but it is a very heavy wine, very heavy. It can corrupt so easy.
Yes, but no, if you look at the civilizations that have had the power and have lost it, it's not much left but the dregs. And to see that happen to where we live is scary thought.
It is not necessarily the dregs. If you look at the former Soviet Union, admittedly, it is in pretty bad shape, but that is because when it got corrupted, it was a very powerful country. If you look at Great Britain, is it the dregs?
They're not doing very good.
They're not doing too badly.
Yeah,
If you look at
Sure.
China,
they're doing great.
China's coming back up. They've already hit the bottom. They're coming back up industrially.
exactly.
Well, is there anything we could do to keep that from happening, or is it beyond our control?
Look at the morals of each society that has failed.
Okay.
Look at how a family is treated. Look at the social structure of all these. Let us first look at a very good example.
Okay.
Rome.
Right.
Describe Rome at its heyday, please.
Running water, baths, government, laws, armies, world domination practically for the known world.
Next description of ancient Rome, please.
It was a big party.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to the point of anything, morally, legally. When I understand my history, it got down to the point where morals didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that existed for any of it is idolatry.
Mm-hmm. Describe your country at present.
Saying,
They're working on that.
Our moral system isn't as bad as it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's getting better.
it's still bad.
But it's getting better. I think a lot of it has to do with the AIDS scare too.
And we try to support that and everything, right at the present time, but we can't do it physically, but we do it financially.
Mm-hmm. It is a very heavy wine to be a power.
That's the position that these countries are facing.
No, we put ourselves in that position by
Exactly.
volunteering to do this.
No, what I'm saying is that they asked us for this help,
We do it.
As long as they continue to ask us, we're going to do it.
It is called the noble obligation.
We should just stretch it about as thin as you can go.
Okay. Last question, please.
Well, the only one I've got is on restarting my class in the group. We'll be going through the refresher courses, but what would be the key to rebuilding owner psychic edges?
It would be better to discuss this at the next channel session.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. And thank you.
Okay.
Live long and prosper.
Yes.
I'll be back. I'm Ultra Enterprise 1 mile.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put the last person on. And then I might come back and answer final questions.
Right.
Best for last.
Hold on.
Maybe 4 times it ago. Greetings, Laura. Greetings, Skip.
Good evening.
Good evening. I am the healer.
No, it's Carter.
I was supposed to ask her a question.
That is my sister you were meant to ask. Oh, no, I thought you were going to ask a political question that was supposedly set up.
You're the new.
Yes, I am. I am the one that told you to wash your hands after healing. To tap your hands when you cannot and rub them. Is there anything that you wish to further understand? Yes, many things.
Yeah, you got it. You should anyway have to introduce this.
At the moment, it is best to learn to control what you have, so it does not feed back on itself. Coming to understand it is the most important thing. Feeling its usage and how to use it wisely so that you do not spread yourself thin, as I have unfortunately learned. Spreading one's self very thinly to be a curse, and also becoming emotionally attached.
Okay. Well, my biggest question is working on that pyramid today. And, building of it and design. First off, I want to check on, we're going to be putting copper wire around an iron plate, or over an iron plate, and throughout the iron parts, and then charging them up. How's the healing factors of the pyramid are making impacts?
It's going to focus it.
Okay.
It is going to also amplify it to a lower level in the pyramid. I do not mean lower level of energy, I mean a lower point in the pyramid, so that you can lie down within the energy field.
And then you will turn it on and off as the
Right.
Now then, in using time and space, and are they bypassed in healing? In other words, when you
They do
heal,
not interfere in healing.
so when you heal psychically, are you repairing the subtle bodies, and then that carries over to physical?
No, you are working on the physical.
Well, how is the subtle bodies affected?
Because when you work on the physical, the subtle bodies, the astral body, and all the other bodies are affected also. An astral body reflects the condition of the individual.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
So it's like a mirror.
If you have a nice, bright, bouncy, cheerful aura, you have a nice, bright, bouncy individual. Normally a bright, bouncy aura is a sign of being of well health. A splotchy aura reflects the individual's condition. A white aura or a grey aura reflects other conditions.
Now, yesterday you were interviewing me, a gentleman named Keith,
Mhm.
and at the time his aura was very unhealthy. Should I go ahead and make any options to him towards helping him in that field, or leave it to himself?
You can make subtle hints.
Okay.
Fury would be a better one to discuss that with.
Of course, maybe.
Mhm.
Oh, what about Mark Slade?
Again, I've got to state that he has got to come to us to ask for help on that.
Okay.
I mean, we can do all the work that we wish on it, but if he doesn't know how to handle it, then to treat us like whilst it's healing, then we might as well do nothing.
Okay, Carrie's arrival's next Tuesday.
Okay. We need to set up a healing recording to be used prior to the channeling session to head live within the pyramid to use your LS machine.
Okay, so we'll set it up for Friday. Okay, I'll set that for like a 30-minute session.
Yes.
Alright. And you'll just do a dissertation then?
Mm-hmm. And we will have music that we will decide upon nearer to the time. Probably Angry would be best. But we have the tape. Okay.
Okay. My last one is Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's an example of being chakra music?
Yes.
Okay, well, how would that be for working?
No.
Too lively.
Yes. Okay. Any questions from the gallery?
You answered mine.
No?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I have to go and attend to a very smelly diaper. Good night.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah.
And this is the quirkiest I've ever seen.
What about that time with your buffalo?
That was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't say it.
I was surprised that it was even that you see.
Mm-hmm. I smelt it more than I felt it. It's kind of started to sense it. I first of all, I could smell a very buffalo smell.
Very musty. It's very musty. I smell it a lot.
Mm-hmm. I have a very sensitive smell.
The only other one I know that was sensitive, and that was my psychic that.
Yeah.
I have a little tape.
Yeah.
So, question I've got here, and we'll see what you can do with it. If anything. And that is, we were discussing earlier with the law, the Mayans, the Incas, and the Aztecs.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, as I remember, and this is going strictly from past life memory, is that they were very heavy into astral projection.
Not my planet, buddy.
I didn't think you'd be able to help me with that.
I love that answer. That's an interesting coffee you've got there. Mind if I join you? Yes. Sorry, did I speak you? In your astral projection, they mean something like landmarks to follow, correct?
Yes, no.
Well, as a beginning astral.
Oh, as a beginning, yes.
Now, a number of interesting creatures that you find throughout the South American area that the Mayans were part of, in the Guatemala and southern Mexico area, are what are called stela. And these stela are like very tall pillars
Mm-hmm.
with intricate carving and everything. But the archaeologists could find no clear reason why they were put there except as maybe a boundary type of line.
Yeah, right.
It would seem to me, though, that that would be a perfect kind of way for anybody who's astral projecting to use as a landmark. And coming back
Later on, probably later on they were used as landmarks, but originally it sounds that they were more like barriers. But I'm only giving you an unintelligent guess. Of tribes. What do you think?
So another tribe would come up on a stela and they'd know that you're in someone else's territory.
Exactly. It's like you have signposts saying, if I got the translation right, here's South Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
So it's kind of a sign. Yeah, a sign here, sign there. Again, not my planet. Hey, I'm a foreigner. Even where I am at the moment, it isn't my planet.
That's true. What do they use on Durandal for landmarks to find?
We use shapes of hills. We artificially shape a hill.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese do that too. If they did it because of the energy and land.
Yeah.
They felt this.
Well, we would, you'd have a town in a valley here, right, with a river and nice fields all the way around it, and bridges and nice streets and nice buildings with nice pointed spires. And then you'd have a hill over here, right, and there would be a big ditch cut around it that you could see from quite some way away, and then there would be a central point where at night time you could light a signal fire if necessary. And you could see the tower from, I should say about 30 miles.
Question for you. Yeah, you might find this in Mark's mind, you might not. One of those things in South America, the animals and the spiders. Yeah, the ground markings.
The ground markings, the big,
the big. There's these huge markings in South America, and they're like hundreds and hundreds of feet long. And if you're on the ground, you can't tell. You gotta be up in the air to see them. And so they thought that maybe they had communications with aliens, and there's the only reason why they don't.
yeah, the tall drawings.
But wouldn't it be more likely that this was an astral projection kind of thing?
Nazca lines.
Nazca's lines, absolutely. It would seem like if you're coming in, you'd be able to see these.
Quite possible that it would be saying, here is the order of the hummingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Or here is the order of the spider.